True Detective, Season 1. That was a good one. Really something special. This? Come on, assholes. You want to hear the review or not? Alright, boss. Got a Facebook notification, August 2013. New HBO show premiering. January 2014. My sister's birthday. I remember. Something deep and dark, detectives. Something deep and dark. And something incredibly badass. True Detective Season 1. I guess really don't need this anymore. 1 second. That's better. Now it's just me, you, and my kick-ass True Detective t-shirt. So True Detective stars Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson, and it is the greatest single season of television ever made. I'm serious. This thing is so amazing. This show is like if you took Zodiac, Silence of the Lambs, Seven, and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, put it in a pot, mixed that pot up, poured some sriracha sauce on that shit, and topped it off with a nice cold pint. That's how great this show is. If this show was like a 3-hour movie, it would win every single award at the Oscars, guaranteed, and McConaughey would be walking home with his 2nd consecutive Oscar. So what is True Detective? Well, True Detective is an 8-hour miniseries, or according to the Emmys, an 8-hour drama about 2 detectives in Louisiana who are searching for a serial killer. Woody Harrelson plays Marty Hart. He's kind of the straight guy in this series. You know, he's the one with the wife and the kids and the family. But he's got some demons. You know, he cheats on his wife, he's an alcoholic, so he's definitely got some skeletons in his closet, and he does a fantastic job. And on any other show we would be talking about his performance like it was the greatest, one of the best performances ever, and it is, but it is overshadowed by Matthew McConaughey's Russ Cole. This character is one of the top 5 characters ever put on a screen, TV, or movie. If anyone had any doubts about McConaughey and his reconnaissance and if he can act or anything, watch this show and those doubts, they will vanish. What I thought was so cool about this show is that all 8 episodes were written by one guy, Nick Pizzolatto, I don't know how to say his name, but that's him right there. Yeah, look at that guy. He was an English college professor once. Most hardcore English college professor I've ever seen. I dare you to text on that guy's class. It'd go a little something like this. Okay, class. So today we're going to be talking about TJ. Yeah, that guy. He came out of nowhere. He wrote every single episode of this show. Every word is from his mind only, and he did an incredible job. I've never seen writing like this. I mean, you say what you will about the guy, plagiarism, whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if it's true. Regardless, though, it is an unbelievable writing job. Every episode on the show should have won an Emmy. I understand why they didn't. He did such a good job writing the show. I mean, badass. And like one writer, there's one director, too. All 8 episodes were directed by Cary Fukunaga. I don't know how you say his name. I can't say any of these guys' names apparently, but yeah, he directed all 8 episodes, and he did take home an Emmy for maybe the greatest single shot in television history. In episode 4, Russ is going through the stash house, and it never cuts. I mean, we've all seen it by now if you're a True Detective fan. If you haven't, go and watch it. But yeah, it's probably the best scene I've ever seen in television. This show accomplished what very few shows can do, and that's that they made every single character interesting and matter. I mean, not just McConaughey and Harrelson, but Kevin Dunn, who played their boss at one point, Michelle Monaghan, who played the wife. I mean, guys who were in it for one scene, Shai Wigman, yeah, who played the crazy priest. I mean, every single supporting character in the show was incredible. I love this thing so much that I've honestly watched the entire thing through probably 12 to 15 times. It got to the point where I was so obsessed with the show when it was originally airing that I'd be doing dishes like on a Tuesday and I'd have it playing instead of music on the background. I mean, every episode in this show was good, but episodes 3, 4, and 5 are probably the best 3-episode run of TV ever. I'm talking Breaking Bad, The Wire, Sopranos, whatever. Episodes 1 and 2, they're really good. I mean, they're great. They're kind of that slow burn though, you know, you're building. And the last 5 minutes of episode 3, it's like someone just hits you in the heart with Nicolas Cage's adrenaline from The Rock, and all of a sudden it's like BOOM! And then it's full speed ahead, and all of a sudden we're in biker gangs and machine guns and stash houses and meth labs. I mean, it just all of a sudden just put the pedal to the metal in the best way. I mean, oh, so good. And I love the interrogation aspect in the show. Like, this show takes place, well, in a couple different timelines, but really specifically two. In 2012, when older Martin Hart and Rustin Cole are being interviewed about a case that's been reopened, and they're talking about 1995's case, and that's the flashbacks, and that's predominantly the main aspect of the show. And then we also have a brief stint in 2002 when they've kind of settled the case, but then you see that they're still haunted by it, you know, 7 years later. You know, it's funny, I'm not going to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but the killer in the show, when you finally do find out who it is, you're like, ha! That's so clever. I never would have thought that. I mean, that's the way I thought anyway. And by that point, I'd watched the previous 6 episodes like 4 times by that point. I still never would have thought of that person as the killer. The score in this show is really good too. I mean, it wasn't anything over the top. It wasn't really epic like Hans Zimmer. It was more dark and subtle tones throughout. Who here who has seen the show thought Russ' monologues were the best part of the show, but have no idea what the fuck he was talking about? And he starts talking about time as a flat circle and death and fatality. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, man, but I could listen to you all day. There were a few complaints about how the series concluded. For me, I didn't have a problem with it. The final action sequence, if you will, of the movie, when they're in the, I won't really spoil it, but what a callback to Silence of the Lambs when Jodie Foster's going through Buffalo Bill's house. I mean, you could air those, I mean, put a split screen and run both, and they mirror each other so well. And that's what I'm talking about. That this show is Zodiac when you talk about the police procedural aspect, and it's Silence of the Lambs when the aspects I'm talking about, and it's Seven, and it's all these great murder, serial killer, police procedural movies all into one 8-hour show with 2 of the best leading performances I've ever seen. It's about as perfect as I can get for a cinematic experience. Obviously, I'm giving it 4 to 4 reels. I'm giving it an A+. I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. I'm giving it whatever. I'm giving it 30 Lone Star beer cans. Whatever. This show is phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out before season 2 airs. And I think we have no idea yet. I think it's probably going to come out in August. And it's going to star Colin Farrell, Vince Vaughn, Taylor Kitsch, Rachel McAdams. Whole new cast, whole new story. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be hard for them to top what they did in season 1, though. I mean, Harrelson and McConaughey, it was badass. Anyway, guys, so that's the review for season 1 of True Detective. Be sure to go to ReelsGuide.com and check out the top 10 moments in the first season of True Detective. And also make sure to follow ReelsGuide on Facebook and Twitter. And until next time, have a good one, everybody.